Teacher Maria Teresa. Welcome to our math class.
We are now in Quarter 4, Module 5.
Before we start our lesson, here are some reminders to follow to make your learning effective. First, prepare your module, paper and ball pen.
Second, find a comfortable place in your house for learning.
Down some notes to remember important ideas. Last, watch and listen attentively. For today is about law of sines. At the end of the lesson, you are expected to illustrate law of sines.
Let us have a short recall. Look at the figure and determine what case is illustrated. Is it AAS, ASA, or SSA? Number 1. Very good. It is AAS. Number 2. Yes, that is correct. SSA. Number 3. Correct, it is ASA. Very good, class. Now let us proceed to our lesson.
What is an oblique triangle? It is a triangle with no right angle, such as acute, obtuse triangle with no right angle. Today, we're going to concentrate on the law of sines that we are going to use in solving oblique triangle. First, let us derive the law of sines. Let us use any triangle ABC with angle A, opposite of side A, angle B, opposite of side B, and angle C, opposite of side C. From vertex B, let us draw a line perpendicular to its opposite side and represented by H.
Let us now use the two right triangles. In triangle 1, sine angle A is equal to the opposite side to the hypotenuse. So H is equal to C sine A. So that is the first equation. The second equation, use triangle 2. Sine C equals H over A. Then H equals A sine C. So after getting the two equations for H, using transitivity, you can write C sine A equals A sine C. Divide AC to both sides, then we have sine A over A equals sine C over C and equals to sine B over B. This is known the law of sine. The law of sine states that in any given triangle, the ratio of the length of a side and the sine of the angle opposite that side is a constant. In symbols, sine A over A equals sine B over B equals sine C over C. Or we can write it as A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. You can use any of the two. Solve triangles. The law of sine is also known as sine rule, sine law, and sine formula. And this formula is valid for all types of triangles. Right, acute, or obtuse triangles. We're going to use the law of sine in solving triangles. What do you mean by solving triangle? Solving a triangle means to find the unknown lengths and angles of the triangle. So there are two conditions where we are going to use the law of sine. The first condition is when two angles and a side are known, be AAS or ASA cases. The second condition is when the given are two sides and a non-enclosed angle or the SSA. This condition is also known as an ambiguous case. What do you mean by ambiguous? Ambiguous means open to two or more interpretations. Let us have the first case. Given two angles and the included side. Example number 1. Solve for side A and measure of angle C in triangle ABC, in which angle A equals 63.5 degrees, angle B equals 51.2 degrees, and side C is equal to 6.3 centimeters. First, you have to identify the given. The measure of angle A equals 63.5, the measure of angle B equals 51.2, and side C 6.3 centimeters. We can easily find the measure of angle C. Simply apply the sum of the three angles of a triangle is 180. Subtracting the sum of the two angles to 180 is 65.3. The measure of angle C is 65.3. Based on the given, we will use thus part of the formula sin A over A equals sin C over C. Substitute the known values, we obtain sin 63.5 divided by A equals sin 65.3 divided by 6.3. Let us cross multiply. We get A sin 65.3 equals 6.3 sin 63.5. Solve for A equals 6.3 sin 65.3 divided by sin 63.5. A equals 6.21 centimeters. Write your final answer in two decimal places. Let us proceed to the next condition. Given are two angles and a non-included side of an obtuse triangle. Example number 2. Solve the given triangle. Angle A equals 35 degrees, angle C equals 62 degrees, and side C equals 7. Let us start solving. Let us identify the given. Measure of angle A equals 35, measure of angle C equals 62, and side C equals 7 units. This is AAS case. It is easy to find angle B. Use the definition of triangle. The sum of the three angles of a triangle is 180. The measure of angle B is equal to 180 minus the sum of angle A and angle C. 35 plus 62 equals 97. 180 minus 97. The measure of angle B is 83. Let us solve for A using the part of the law of sine. A over sine A equals C over sine C. We get A sine 62 equals 7 sine 35. Solve for A, we have 7 sine 35 divided by sine 62, and the value of A is 4.55. Again, two decimal places. Let us solve side B as follows. Let us use the part of sine B over B equals sine C divided by C. Substitute the values, cross multiply. Solve for B, we obtain B equals 7.87. Now, let us proceed to the second condition. If two sides and a non-included angle are given, or known as the SSA case. SSA is referred to as the ambiguous case. So here, there are three conditions that exist. First, exactly one triangle exists with one solution only. Number 2, two different triangles exist. There are two solutions. And for number 3, no triangle exists. There is no solution for this. Here are the facts to remember. Number 1. In a triangle, the sum of the measures of the interior angles is 180 degrees. Number 2. The hypotenuse is always the longest side in a triangle. When working in a triangle with sine A equals opposite to the hypotenuse, sine A must be less than +1 and greater than -1. Third, the sine of an obtuse angle is defined to be the sine of its supplementary acute angle. And last, no triangle can have two obtuse angles. Let us proceed to the condition that two sides and an unincluded angle are given. Let us have example number 3. In triangle ABC, measure of angle A equals 30 degrees, A equals 20, and side C equals 16. How many distinct triangles can be drawn with these measurements? Then, find the measure of angle B. First thing to do is identify what are the given. Measure of angle A equals 30, A equals 20, and C equals 16. Solve for angle B. Based on the given, we will use the part of the sine formula. Sine A over A equals sine B over B. Now let us replace sine 30 divided by 20 equals sine B divided by 16. Just plug things in a calculator. It is equal to 0.4. Sine inverse 0.4. An angle with a sine value of 0.4 is 24 degrees. By this condition, it can form a triangle. Remember that the sine of an obtuse angle is the sine of its supplement. Now let us find the supplement of 24. Simply by subtracting 24 to 180. The supplement of a 24-degree angle is 156, but we cannot use this one because it will exceed 180 degrees. Because the first given angle is 30, so 156 plus 30 is 186. And in this case, there's only one triangle exists. Therefore, angle B measures 24 degrees. Let us proceed to example number 4. In triangle ABC, the measure of angle A equals 30. A equals 10 and side B equals 16. How many distinct triangles can be drawn with these measurements? Then, find the measure of angle B. Let us now solve for angle B and let us use the sine part. Sine A over A equals sine B over B. Replace what are the given. Sine 30 over 10 equals sine B over 16. Cross multiply 10 sine B equals 16 sine 30. Isolate sine B equals 16 sine 30 divided by 10. You may plug in to calculator to get exact result. Sine B equals 0.8. It is less than 1 and greater than -1. Of angle B is 53. To find the supplement of 53, we have 180 minus 53, 127. And remember that the sine of an obtuse angle is the sine of its supplementary. And the measure of angle B is 53 or 127. And these are the two triangles. Now, let us consider this example. In triangle ABC, the measure of angle A equals 30, side A equals 7, and side B equals 16. How many distinct triangles can be drawn with these measurements? Then find the measure of angle B. Let us now solve using the part of a sine with angle B. Sine A over A equals sine B over B. Replace the given values, cross multiply, then solve for B. Using the law of sine, sine B is equal to 1.14. But in relation to triangles, sine B must be less than +1 and greater than -1. So in this case, there's no triangle exists. To sum it up, remember that number 1, the sum of the measures of the three angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. Next is, if the sine of angle A or B or C is greater than 1, the triangle is invalid. If one side is longer than the other side and longer than the altitude, there is only one triangle. To help us remember the law of science, let us listen, then sing the song entitled The Law of Science.
Choose oblique triangles is the law of science in songs and right. The law of science, sin A over A equals sin B over B equals sin C over C.
Let's sing together.
You don't choose oblique triangles, use the law of science to solve them right. The law of science, sin A over A equals sin B over B equals sin C over C.
And now, please bring out your paper and ball pen and try to answer the given question after reading the situation. Let us have a real-life situation. Airplane A is flying directly toward the airport, which is 20 miles away. The pilot notices airplane B 45 degrees to her right. Airplane B is also flying directly towards the airport. The pilot of airplane B calculates that airplane A is 50 degrees to his left. Based on the given information, illustrate, then write the formula to find how far is airplane B from the airport. Let's reveal the answer after 15 seconds. Let us now check your answers. Very good, class. We can now proceed on our activity today. Please answer with honesty. Remember that these lessons and activities were also given to students who are in modular form. This video can also be watched in your free time. Let us now check if we arrive at the same answer. Well done, class! If you got all correct answers, then you are ready for the next lesson. But if not, please watch the video lesson again. Before we end this session, let us have the valuing. Let me pose this question. How will you apply the law of science in real life? In real life, we sometimes prove that some relationships are invalid because of valid reasons. Example, you want to go to school, but the school in your community offers modular distance learning. You cannot go to school. And also, sometimes we get two solutions. For example, you want to buy a new smartphone for online learning. You can get two solutions. First, you may ask your parents to buy you a new cell phone, or you're going to save some money from your allowance. There are many choices. These are just examples. Mathematics will help us making solutions and picking wise decisions. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless!